What's up, everybody? Ty Bartell in with another edition of Player Profile. This time we head to my friends over in Canfield country, home of the Cardinals girls basketball team. Cece McElroy joining me today. Cece, how we doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm not doing too bad, and I mean, you and the Cardinals aren't doing too bad as winners of the district championship against Crestwood most recently. Just talk to me about the run you've kind of been on with this team as you found a newfound role this year, and between you and Aline, you two are really manning the post down this season.
Yeah, coming into it from just being at JV last year, it's kind of hard to find where you're supposed to belong in a way. But when I finally figured out that I was kind of needed for rebounding and getting the offensive and defensive and just being there and being ready to play every day and having good defense, that's just what made it all.
When you talk about going from junior varsity to the varsity level, no doubt there's going to be a little bit of shifts. Most often, I hear from people, speed of the game is the thing that changes the most too. How are you able to adjust to the speed too and find your success so successful that you've been able to find this year?
Well, definitely after the first game, I realized, oh gosh, like it's time to pick it up a little bit. And having seen all these players who like are huge going like D1, going in different places to go, like I realized that I have to put in more work. I have to be able to play with them, like in a way.
No doubt. And when you talk about that, everybody's journey kind of starts a little bit different too, especially when you're talking varsity basketball too, and the type that Canfield usually plays. What do you think? What aspects of your game would you say have improved the most throughout your basketball career?
I'd say aspects of my game would be definitely rebounding and getting down the floor a little bit, using my moves inside the post and kind of my like basketball IQ, I guess you could call it.
What is the culture that you would describe for the Canfield Cardinals? What does it mean to be a Cardinal? What does it mean to be a part of this team?
To me, being part of this team means that we all share like memories together. It's not about just about winning or losing. I mean, obviously we want to win, but it's not just about that. Like it's about how we grow as a team and how we take care of each other.
Sports and being a part of a team is all about the moments that you are able to make throughout a course of a season, throughout the course of your career. When you talk about some of the moments that you've been able to make, and you guys are still making moments this season, what are some of your favorite moments that you've personally been able to experience with this team?
My favorite moments were definitely our buzzer beater against Stowe, of course, beating Howland, winning the AAC tournament, like winning all over AAC, and definitely winning district championships. That was definitely a good moment for me.
You guys, it feels like, are a team that is almost designed like a teepee. And what I mean is you guys all support each other, and you guys, because of your support of one another, is what keeps you guys so strong and keeps you guys standing. Who are some players on this team that kind of help push you in practice and help make you the best version of yourself that you could be?
I would say definitely Aline. Aline has been there through thick and thin. She's always going to be there for you. And I think Marina as well. Like our seniors do a great job of keeping everyone intact and everyone trying to be the best that they can be. And definitely my coaches as well. I definitely say them for sure. Coach Real has always been there to hold me accountable for the things that I can do better or have to do better in order for this team to be able where we are to be.
When you talk about some of the people on the team, those are great names. When you talk about off the team, some other role models, some other influencers that have had that impact on your life, who are some people that come to mind?
My sister, Abby, she definitely has an impact on me because she left a little bit of her here in Canfield coming into like as a senior, her team won throughout districts as well. And having known that, like I feel as though she just decides like, all right, like now you're here and you gotta do what you have to do so you guys can go through this.
The McElroy name is synonymous, I feel like, with the sport of basketball. A lot of success that we've seen throughout your family in particular's name throughout the years, too. Does that add any kind of pressure to you, or does it feel like you need to have that standard of success to keep up with what the name's been able to put up over the years?
Definitely a little bit. It definitely adds a little bit of pressure to me because I mean, my brother and both my sister, they were both shooters. They were never like strictly just on the inside, and it's kind of it's like a lot for me, but I think I'm finding who I really like have to be as a role on this team, and it's just lifting a little bit the pressure as I get deeper in the season.
You talked about finding your success meant that you had to put more work into it. You had to stay a little bit more disciplined. What are some of the things you have to use? Because obviously, when you're putting in the work that you do, there's going to be days where, man, I don't want to do this. I got assignments to do, or I don't want to do practice. How do you fight through that? How do you stay disciplined and see yourself get better?
For me, it's definitely more about like the whole team. Like, okay, I think about, all right, like I'm here for my team. I have to show up for my team so we can all be good. And thinking about like all the moments that we have shared, like as I talked about before, like it just makes it feel better to go to practice, especially when I don't want to.
When we talk about basketball as a journey, I want to go back to the first chapter that you wrote in there in your basketball journey. What's some of your earliest memories? What's the first time you remember having a ball in your hands?
Gosh, first time I had a ball in my hands was definitely around, I think, either fifth or sixth grade. I think maybe even a little bit younger than that for sure, but
All right, so if we took your basketball career so far and we were making it a movie, what's the title of that movie going to be for the CC McElroy basketball journey?
oh my gosh, a movie title. I think just like something about finding how who you are, I guess.
All right, I like it. I like it. And when you talk about finding yourself too, you talked about finding yourself as a basketball player. What have you started finding and learning about yourself as a person as you've also grown as a person in high school?
I found that it's better to support everyone else's success because your time will eventually come, and when it does, like you just have to be ready for that moment and you have to be ready to step up, and especially in the game as well, like you have to be ready for your moment because I'm not a starter, obviously. So it's like, all right, I'm on the bench right now. So when I come in, it has to be like a different kind of energy that I bring. And it's just overall, like, it's just about being ready for the moment that you have.
No doubt, I talk with your coaches all the time, and they tell me all the time you're always ready for the moment too. And the type of dynamic you bring off of that bench too is what makes that team so good. There's a lot of parallels between, I think, sports and life, and what you could take away, what you can learn, especially in the sport of basketball. What's a skill or trait that you've learned throughout basketball that applies to your real life?
I'd say resilience is a big part of it. Getting back to where you go, like even after making a mistake, like you can't just look back and say, "Oh my gosh!" Like you have to really fight through it and get back to where you began. I guess.
Talking about where you began, let's say we hop in the DeLorean, put that baby in 88 miles an hour and go back in time, right? Let's talk about what's some advice you'd give to some your younger version self too about just staying with the game and just developing.
I'd say just keep doing what you know how you can do and what you can do, and don't try and be anything else because that's not how it's going to work out.
So I know like this is more of a baseball softball thing with the walk up music, but if you had your own personal theme song to walk out to, what's your entrance song?
Oh, I would definitely say "Teach Me How to Dougie." I love that song, and that would be
Okay.
my
All
walkout.
right. A little old school with it though. I like it. I like it. I dig it. So, all right, let's go with another one too. I know you talk about being a post player, and I know you talk about being a rebounder, but let's say you could take any skill from any NBA or WNBA player, any skill from any one player. What's that skill going to be and why?
I'd say it definitely be Steph Curry's shot because
Okay.
for me, like I feel like if I had more to give, then it would be more beneficial to like be in more. But I definitely take Steph Curry's shot.
You talk about shooting threes too. Is that something you're actively always trying to work on and get better too with your game?
Definitely. We definitely work on it in practice every day. So it's growing as we go, and eventually I'll work up the confidence to start shooting from the three.
Oh, I can't wait until that confidence is there because I know you're going to be able to start splashing them home. Who on your team, out of all the girls on the team, who do you think would make a really good basketball coach one day and why?
Um, I'd say Sophia. Sophia Castronova would definitely make a good basketball coach because she holds everyone accountable too. She has her traits and makes everyone work harder around her and makes everyone around her better.
We talk about the traits that you need to have in those intense games too to pull out those winners. You talked about that the Stowe Monroe Falls game. Was that the most intense game you've been a part of, or is there some other games that come to mind when you talk about the intensity that you've been able to be a part of?
Um, I'd say Howland was one of the intense ones that I've been involved in because Stowe, it was intense. Like, don't get me wrong there, but Howland just brought a whole new intensity and what we could do and what we could reach.
If you could think of like a word or maybe a couple words that would describe this team this year and their personality, what are some words that come to mind for you?
Um, some words that come to mind for me would definitely be like fun and outgoing and I guess different. Like we're a different kind of team.
Okay, I like it. You want to be different. I feel like
Right.
I don't think different's a bad thing at all. When we look at your success and how you've been able to be successful on this team, like we said, it's all because you guys are able to support each other. You know what you need to get out of each other. You know what is expected from yourselves as well. What do you think makes in your experience and in your personal opinion, what do you think makes a good coach? What do you think makes a good teammate?
I think a good coach to me would definitely be one that pushes you, even when they know you can go farther, but you're really doubtful on yourself, and that means like they're just trying to push you and making you better every day. And for me, a teammate would definitely be someone who's there for you, like throughout the whole season, like doesn't switch up on you and like kind of I don't know the word for it, but it's like kind of just like be only around you for your successes and rather than yeah.
Be with you with the low points as well as the highs too. Be
Mhm.
able to celebrate your successes too and bring you up from your low comings, no doubt. And when there's a lot of girls like that on this team, I feel like too, and I feel like that's why you guys really mesh super well. A lot of girls I've also talked to, scoring isn't as big. It's a big thing for them, but some of the girls I've talked to, and also other teams I've talked to as well, have said like just because I score a lot doesn't necessarily mean I'm having a great game. I feel like I'm having a great game, even sometimes when I only have one or two buckets or no points at all. In your ideal perfect game scenario, what does a perfect game played by Cece McElroy look like from start to finish?
To me, it'd definitely be about the defense because I'm not really like an offensive player. Like I score obviously, but to me, it'd be getting good box outs, good rebounds, like going for the ball, every loose ball, and making passes and getting like out of the way in a way, and helping out when there's pressure or even like just being a good defender and not fouling.
Oh, I like it too. And the way you guys play defense too, that is what gives you guys the thriving offense, I feel like too. Your defense turning into offense. Taking it off the court because you are a student athlete and student is the first part of that. Who are some of your favorite teachers? What have been some of your favorite classes that you've taken at Canfield?
Um, One of my favorite classes that I've taken is art, and my favorite teacher is probably Mr. Hoops. That's been my favorite teacher, and I've loved Mrs. Stouffer, loved her so much. And that was for math. I had her because math and art are my favorite subjects.
Do you feel like art is kind of your escape from the basketball and the world? What is it about art do you like? Is it the painting aspect, drawing aspect? What aspect of art do you like?
I feel like I can really express myself through my art, so it's like in a way like it's a kind of relieving to just be in that class. I put my headphones on and it's like a hour and a half of just me and this painting, I guess.
Take a look at some of the work from Cece McElroy one day too, and see what you're rocking with too with the old paintbrushes. Before I let you go, Cece, I always like to give our student athletes the spotlight to shine on whoever else they want to shine on. Obviously, there's been some big names and a lot of people that have been with you along this journey that have supported you and still are rooting for you. Give a shout out to those people that you couldn't have done this without.
Definitely my mom and my dad, Todd and Marcy McElroy, Aline Bearcat, Jenna Treveri, like my whole team, Coach Real, and both my grandmas.
Well, Cece, I know all of them are rooting for you, but we're rooting for you as well here at YSN. I love the steps that you've continued to take, getting better not only as a player, but also as a teammate for Canfield. You've taken a big step this year coming off the bench, and you've also helped secure that post with you and Aline tag teaming it. I'm so excited to see what you guys are going to continue to do. Congratulations on the district championship, and we're
Thank
rooting for you to go the rest of the way.
Can I shout out one more person real quick?
Absolutely. Always got
And
time
Coach
for it.
Pav, and Coach Pav, and all my coaches, and Harmony, Coach Harmony, and Coach Morale. There it
You
goes.
can't forget Coach Pav, too. I mean,
Yeah, I can
he'll let
never
you hear it
forget
next
you.
game. He'll let you hear it for sure.
Oh
No,
yeah.
big shout out to all the coaches there at Canfield, and big shout out to this Cardinals team and community. This has been another edition of Player Profile, this time with CC McElroy.